Hello and welcome to Unapologetics. I am Brently, and this is the show where we read a Christian or right wing or conspiracy article and explain why it's stupid. And here with me, we got a very special guest. We got Kevin from the Left at the Valley podcast.
Brently. It's always a pleasure as usual. I got to tell you, my friend, something weird happened to me this week. I had a revelation. I saw him. I saw our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I
man.
saw him. I had a revelation, and his hair was flaming, and he had these wings with jewel encrusted and a flaming cloak. And he leaned into me and he said, "Kevin, I don't think that was a microdose."
It was a macro dose. Might have been a multiple macro doses.
Might have been.
I love it. Yeah. See, that's some humor I can get from my past. So today we have. So this is from ChristianPost.com.
Christians have their own publications?
Oh yeah.
Really? They're really getting with the times.
It's like the Daily Bugle, but it's the Christian Post,
Is it engraved in stone? That's what I want to know.
The what?
Is it engraved in stone, or is it just like on?
No, they're perfectly willing to use our technology, but then they want to act like
evil scientists. They're willing to use that.
I know, right? I guess the end justifies the means or something. I don't know how they go with that. But so we got it's the title of the article here is Revelation 4 in blue letters, the destruction of our planet and an emerald rainbow.
There we go.
Emerald's a color, right? That's
It's also a gem.
right. Okay, yeah, that's right. Is it a green gem?
Yeah. So it kind of makes you wonder. So if you have a emerald rainbow, I mean, it's just like a green stripe. That's what it is. Just a big green stripe across the sky. I wonder what that is. It's a chemtrail, I tell you. It's a chemtrail.
Well, that's what it almost looks like here. So we got a double rainbow. Oh, sorry, I can't help that YouTube. That I know it was like back when YouTube was brand new. But man, that was a funny fucking video of that.
Did you ever see? There's an old video, and we're gonna delve into conspiracy theories and all that. But this is a whole video of this woman, and she's filming her sprinkler or her hose or something like that, and it's spraying, and of course it's causing the prism effect, right? Which causes the rainbow. So she's looking at the water and the rainbow through the water, through the spray, and she's claiming that they're putting something in the water, obviously. What the hell is this?
Oh my god.
They're turning the water gray. This is what's happening here.
Titan. Hey. Hey, thank you so much for sticking around. I know we're on the wrong day. We're on like completely the wrong day, but we're doing some new stuff here. At the Brently show. Yeah, but so all right, so the destruction of our planet and an emerald rainbow. So well, on this show, what we do is we read the article and then we talk about it as we go. So let's go ahead and get started here. So the rainbow is unquestionably a phenomenon of nature with incomparable splendor. As Kyle Hill, the science communicator and educator, said, a rainbow is the product of physics working for your appreciation of beauty.
Oh, that's a good intro. That's not a bad intro, right?
I mean, you lost me on the second part. I mean, it is definitely a product of physics, but so is literally anything.
Yes, that's true. That's
literally everything is a product of physics. But working for your appreciation of beauty, no, it's not. It's just the
it
way
could
it
be,
works.
yeah, it could be meant in a poetic way, though, right? I mean, say it's a bit saying like beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Maybe you just try to be poetic with that, and not necessarily infer intent that
Right.
physics doing this on purpose for you to say, "Wow."
Yeah. I mean, I could see where you're coming from, but remember, this is
No, fair,
a Christian the Christian Post. So, uh,
fair enough. Fair enough.
so everything is
Point.
because God, wanted to show us cool stuff. And in my mind, every time somebody talks about that, right? Every time somebody's like, "Oh, this natural phenomenon is like, it's so God can show us his beauty." And I'm just like, okay, I've seen like these crazy light shows at the bottom of the deepest trench, where no human like can barely, like, we have to send robots down there, and half the time they get crushed under the water pressure. You know what I mean? And so, but God created it for us to look at, even though we die like a billion different ways, just to be able to see it.
Well, the
It's
funny thing
just
about that is you would think that God would come up with something new once in a while, something we've never seen before. Now, there you would have a proper argument for God using his magic to wow us. If we've seen the rainbow, the Aureolus Borealis, and all that stuff, and meteor showers, whatever. What if he came with something we've never seen before? Once in a while, come on, come up with a new trick, God. Come on, big guy, come on.
yeah.
Imagination there, bud.
Exactly, It's, yeah. It's to me, it's just like and there's stuff, like, on the other side of the galaxy, that we're just now seeing, you know what I mean? And it's like and you think God made that shit just so that we could see it, even though, like, we had to have all this technology to be able to see it? Like, come on, man, that's absurd to me. Like,
It was meant for the Bronze Age, okay? It was meant for the Bronze Age.
Yeah, exactly. So, however, the magnificence of the rainbow and its actual meaning have been lost to us. Uh, it's most unfortunate when people think of the rainbow. Their minds automatically go to thoughts of gay pride.
I knew that was coming. But here's
we
why the rainbow has a different significance, one that's been stolen from his God, his almighty God. The
yeah.
gays have stolen the rainbow from him.
They just came and just took it all over. Jesus Christ. So we've been conditioned to think this way. The rainbow was never meant to represent sexual immorality. That's not what gayness is, dude. But anyway, it's about inclusivity, and all the different colors of the rainbow. And it's like all that inclusive. Anyway, they completely don't
A
even get it.
sexual immorality, just go to the Republican Party. Also, morality.
And any more than a cross set up. This is a terrible. Let me just say, this is a terrible metaphor for what they're trying to say. Like they could have found a much better example because they say the rainbow never meant to represent sexual immorality any more than a cross set afire was meant to represent white supremacy.
Eee.
It
Eee.
doesn't represent anything else as far as I understand it. Like, what
Yeah.
is there a
What
reason for a flaming cross, like, that's not to terrorize black people? And
Maybe
then,
let's analyze this because rainbow. So you have the people that use it for gay and gay pride and representation, or you have the Christians that use it for the promise of God not to flood the world. Okay, that's one symbol. Flaming cross. So you have people using it for representing white supremacy. What's the other significance of a flaming cross? What's the other one that I'm missing here? Is there somebody
sometimes we just light crosses on fire. Just
yeah,
it's pretty. It's pretty, and it's just what? No, no. There's no other fucking reason for this. What are you talking about?
it's not like there's any other significance. So there's like a deep down collective symbolism of a flaming cross from ancient times that meant something. No, no, that doesn't happen. It's the
Not
only time the flaming cross is represented is at a KKK rally.
Yeah, just to make a very mistreated minority feel unwelcome in their own goddamn country.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was done over and over and over again. But let's see here. So the book of Genesis tells us the universal deluge. God's. I hope I'm saying that right. Is that a French word, Kevin? You would,
Yes, it is.
you know, it is
It is.
really. Oh,
Deluge. Yep.
what does that mean?
It's just deluge is essentially like a really, really bad rainstorm. Like it's a bit like saying raining cats and dogs. A deluge, it's like grandiose rainfall.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. I didn't real thank you. It's like, the universal deluge God sent to destroy all human life, except for Noah and his family. It was a terrible judgment, and no natural catastrophe has occurred on the same level since. Yeah, because uh, reality doesn't tend to copy things that don't fucking happen.
Not just that.
Like,
It's kind of interesting. He says it was a terrible decision. This is from the perfect God, isn't it? How did
oh,
he
does
make a
it?
terrible decision?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you like questioning the Almighty here, bud?
I mean, he does say that he regretted making humans in the beginning in the
Yeah.
first place. So,
Perfect,
yeah.
omnipotent, omnipresent, omni-knowing everything God is regretting? This
Yeah.
no, there's so many
Mhm.
holes. In the one story of the Bible, you could drive trucks through the holes in that story. Is just absolutely amazing. It is the flood story. It's just astonishingly bad.
Yeah. It just not well, yeah. It is they don't think it through, It's just crazy. The Bible says says after Noah and the other 7 souls with him emerged from the ark, Noah built an altar to worship God and made a blood sacrifice. That's totally normal, of course. Just like you do at any given part of the day, really.
Oh yeah.
Um, when God saw it, we made the following or he made the following only they did not capitalize he.
Uh-oh.
What the fuck, y'all?
Yeah, man.
Going to hell. You're going to hell. And the Lord was pleased with the aroma
Oh,
of
God.
the blood sacrifice. Yeah, gross. It's like, oh, that's some good smelling blood. That's what that is right there. Of the sacrifice, and said to himself, I will never again curse the ground because of the human race, even though everything they think or imagine is bent towards evil from childhood. I
Really?
will.
Everything we know or imagine is bent towards evil? Really?
I
Since the challenge?
define evil. Like, it's like, I
So
don't. Yeah.
a kid watches, dolphins playing on TV, and this is somehow is bent towards evil. This
I
is how
mean,
twisted it is, man. This is so twisted.
were you thinking about fucking those dolphins? Because that'd be pretty. You know,
No, that never
that'd be
even
evil.
crossed my mind once in my life. Even once in my life.
Oh, jeez. We say, never again, of course. Even though everything they think and imagine is bent towards evil from childhood, I will never again destroy all living things. As long as the earth remains, there will be planting and harvest, cold and heat. Okay, yeah, you can't really have anything without that anyway. Summer and winter. Okay, and day and night. A bunch of shit that you really can't do without in any way, in
I know that's
any
the
normal
fact
sense of it.
that he decided to eradicate everything, not just the humans, everything. That's
Every
kind of unfair. That's a dick move. I mean, what the hell did the platypus do to you?
I
Hey,
know, right?
why the
Jeez.
hell did you have to eradicate everything? You could have just, I mean, you're God. You could have basically zapped everybody out of existence, just disintegrate every human if that's what you really want, and leave the whole entire planet by itself. It was doing fine before that, right? No,
Right.
eradicate everything with a flood. It is such a horrible
What the it just
plan.
makes him seem like such a fucking monster. My God. So the rainbow was a sign of God's promise that he will never again destroy the earth as he did in a worldwide flood because of the way mankind rebels against his maker. At the heart of the sign of the rainbow is a message about God's hatred for sin, his unwillingness to allow his order to be violated indefinitely is a sign of God's covenant with the earth and its creatures. A
You know,
covenant. Oh, go ahead. What's up?
I want to take a exception to the term when they say man's natural inclination to rebel against its maker. I don't think mankind has a tendency to rebel against your maker. You have a tendency to rebel against your slave master. You have a tendency to rebel against somebody who's not letting you, impeding you in some way, shape, or form. If there was a God and basically said, "Yeah, you guys are free, and here's a couple of guiding rules to help you guys," he push the clouds and say, "Hey guys, here I am," and try not to be dicks. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't be
Right?
rebelling with him all of a sudden. Oh my God, he's the God's out there. I'm going to rebel because no, you rebel against somebody who's shackling you in chains. That's denying you freedom. That's harming you. This is what rebellion goes against. It doesn't go against somebody for the sake of just being the maker. Right? It doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah, that's just exactly. That's not yeah, you're right. That's not what it's about. It's about so many more so much more than that. But, shit, where is that? Oh, yeah. A covenant to which he binds himself to preserve the natural order from utter destruction.
What?
Wait. A covenant to which he binds himself to preserve the natural order from utter destruction. He literally didn't he just destroy
Well,
everything? It's like,
it also means that if he doesn't bind himself to this covenant, he's going to naturally be inclined to destroy the order of nature. Is that it? If he doesn't promise to not kill us, he will kill us automatically. Is that like
oh, okay. It's a sign of the covenant to earth and its creatures. A covenant to which he binds himself to preserve
yeah?
the natural order from
So
utter destruction. But he's the one who did it.
but it's almost like you're saying that if God doesn't promise to not kill us, he will kill us.
Then he's got every right, and he's got every right to be completely perfectly moral while doing so.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like,
That seems insane.
yeah, it does. It's insane, doesn't it?
Jesus Christ. A rainbow is a token of this covenant. The Lord says, I am giving you a sign of my covenant with you and all living creatures for all generations to come. I have placed my rainbow in the clouds. It is a sign of my covenant with you and with all the earth. When I send clouds over the earth, the rainbow will appear in the clouds, and I will remember my covenant with you and with
God's
all
got short,
living creatures. What's that?
God's got short-term memory.
I swear to God, this is the most redundant thing I've ever fucking read. Okay. It's like over and over, it seems. Yeah. Jesus. Uh, because, and I remember my covenant with you and all living creatures. Never again will the flood waters destroy all life. When I see the rainbow in the clouds, I will remember the eternal covenant between God and every living creature on earth. Genesis 9:12 through 16. But again, this was what's so funny. Like, so he has a covenant, right? Of like not, like he's like, I'm not gonna kill everybody, right? Um, with water, because later I'm gonna do it with fire. So okay, so what the fuck does this even matter? Like, who gives a shit if it's fucking water
Be
or
safe from
fire?
the water for now.
It's bad. It's all bad. Okay, you're a bad god, dude. Jesus. What the fuck? Okay, so now we're getting into the Revelation chapter 4 part, which I kinda I was like, I don't know how this is supposed to be connected, but you know these Christians folks, they draw they have the yarn from one pin to another, and it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter
You know,
if
it'd be
they're related at all.
You know what would be hilarious? I mean, I know this is never going to happen, but if we had this like huge petition and you send it to, I don't know, let's send it to the Vatican, and all these people sign up saying, we don't want the Christian God anymore. We want to replace him with some other deity, you know, Dionysus or something like that. There's a petition.
Oh, jeez. Right? Oh, shit, we got a bunch of comments here. Let's see,
I think you're
Kevin.
Canadian. You're right. I am Canadian. What about the Nova Scotia shooter, the Toronto van attack, the Toronto Danforth shooter? If men only, I didn't say only rebel against slave masters, but that's usually the tendency. I mean, you don't have a tendency to rebel against your neighbor for the hell of it. Of course, you can have a mental illness. Of course, you could have a perception that you're under attack or something like that. Or you could be, on drugs or whatever. Violence is not only limited to that, but there's a general rule: people don't rebel against people that don't harm them.
Right.
There's a
And
general.
yeah, and allow them to have choices. I'm talking your average people. So let's see. This is Aunt Jerish. She said the book, and the break the covenantal rules of business insider tips from the CEO of Hobby Lobby. Conventional rules, you mean laws?
Yeah.
That's good. Uh, let's see. There's a big one. It's from Just a Nobody. Why do we see people kill random people? Or for Brently, who I'm guessing is American, the Las Vegas shooter, the Oklahoma bomber, the the attack, and other parade shooters.
Well,
Yeah, same.
the Oklahoma bomber is a perfect example. This guy thought there was a conspiracy. He thought people were coming after him. He basically created an act of terrorism as a way to destroy his perceived persecutors. People do that
Yeah.
all the
And yeah, and we're you got to keep in mind we're talking about the perfect God of the universe that created everything.
yeah.
We're talking about the people, the person who's in control of the environment currently, right? And he's the one giving us this message according to this belief system, right? And so that's why this is silly and doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because it's based off of a book from 2,000 years ago about their best understanding of why things happen the way they do. But yeah,
And as far as
but
Las Vegas shooter is concerned, I actually knew one of the victims of the Vegas shooter. One of the it was a young man. I believe it was his birthday. He went to Vegas for that concert, and he was turning 23. He was uh, he was a heavy duty mechanic. He was the son of one of my customers, and bright future ahead of him. And kid didn't make it. Right? It's just very,
oh
very, very
man,
sad. Yeah.
it is really sad. And I don't think that it's really sad that that guy did that. And a lot of that is because of the systems that we have set up that cause people to be desperate and angry.
Yes.
I mean that's just the way that things are set up in this country.
People don't have a tendency to turn towards crime when they're well fed and they have a good paying job and they're financially secure. You don't have a tendency to turn towards crime when you have that in your pocket, right?
Right.
You got a full belly, you got a place to sleep, and you got a good job, and you're making the bells. The last thing on your mind is to go out and shoot people. Last thing on your
Right. They don't do violent crime. They will, however, do tax evasion and all these other financial crimes. But that's usually out of selfishness.
mind. Exactly.
It's like, let's see. Just nobody said there was a kid recently who went to a trail somewhere in the States and killed random women on the trail after killing his brother. Yeah, sometimes people have mental illness that causes them to do things like that.
I'd be
And
curious
the
to see
fact
it.
that we don't have access to good mental health care, even if you have a pretty good insurance, healthcare, the mental health part is like garbage,
Yeah,
generally
I'd
speaking.
be kind of curious to see. I doubt. I mean, I don't know the guy, and I don't know the story behind the guy, and this is only speculation at this point. But I find it doubtful that the guy just kill for the sake of killing. That's rather rare. You'll perceive an attack, you'll perceive you're persecuted, you'll do something in defense or try to harm the enemy, quote unquote. But killing for the sake of killing, you're a complete psychopath at that point. And there's not much you can do.
That's yeah, that's generally not normal, and that's
Yeah.
not really what we're
And of course,
talking about here.
unless we're all psychologists and all of a sudden we start interviewing this guy, which we never will.
Right.
We'll probably never.
Right. Well, let's keep going with this
Yeah,
article here. So,
be a blessing.
the rainbow has absolutely nothing to do with LGBTQ. It's hijacking is taking something holy and delightful and using it for something unholy and deadly. Deadly?
deadly.
How the fuck is what? How is just like anything in the LGBTQ? How is that
Well, they have a
deadly?
deadly sense of fashion.
Huh?
They have a deadly sense of fashion.
Oh, it is. Well, yeah. It's fucking yeah. That's
Well, if you were to ask that same, if you're saying the rainbow and you talk to a physicist, you'll say, well, it has nothing to do with God's covenant either. It's a product of, physics. So, and you're just appropriating that. So, the gays and the LGBTQ movement have taken on the rainbow as a symbol for their struggle, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's
and it
nothing.
makes perfect sense because it's about being inclusive in all the different colors of the rainbow. Like, hey, they all work together to make this cool spectrum.
I don't see this fella also lamenting the fact that the Irish have taken the rainbow and given it to leprechauns either, right?
Right.
I don't see that argument being made, right? Maybe
Well,
the
that's a good
maybe the
point.
Irish we should blame, for taking the rainbow from God and giving it to imaginary creatures with a pot of gold. Maybe we should
Yeah.
blame them too, right? And it's like,
Yeah. Like those goddamn leprechauns. Who do they think they are?
"Dile me
The,
like
the,
guns."
the rainbow's our thing, and they want to put a pot of gold in it. Oh, just adding greed
Yeah, right.
to the whole thing. Okay, jeez. And materialism. Oh, God. you know?
What about you don't see them blaming Super Mario because you go into Super Mario World and you have the Rainbow Road where you're crossing over. You don't see them blame that. Why is it they're blaming the gays for this?
Yeah.
It's like
I-
the rainbow's everywhere, dude. It's
yeah.
Skittles. You ever blame Skittles for the rainbow? Taste the rainbow.
Right.
They say it in the promotion. Why aren't you blaming them? I can't believe Skittles.
It's promoting teeth loss.
I
It's
can't believe
teeth decay.
Skittles.
That's what
Skittles is taking the holy rainbow of God and putting it on a tooth decay product. I can't believe they're doing this. Well,
it's
somebody think of the children.
it's almost as if they just hate gay people and they're working backwards
You know what?
to justify their hate.
Head on the nail. Man.
So let's see. Revelation chapter 4, the apostle John was caught up before the throne of God in heaven, and he saw another rainbow, an emerald rainbow. What?
I still
Oh
understand.
man. What?
What's an emerald rainbow?
It's guess green. It's just a
A green streak across the sky. That's what it is.
yeah, yeah. I think honestly, yeah. As far as I was super Christian for a long time, so I was like, and I have a very vivid imagination. And you know how you have like those I don't know, like UFO people call them like orbs,
Oh yeah.
right? Those orbs that generally are just a piece of dust on the lens, and they're like, "There's an alien right there, or a ghost," whatever. But it's something like that. I'd imagine that's like green, right? I mean that would be my uh, interpretation of it anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, so it's an emerald rainbow, right? And instantly, I was in the so this is continuing from Revelation chapter 4. And instantly, I was in the spirit, and I saw a throne in heaven, and someone sitting on it. The, I'm sorry,
I have
that's
that same
funny.
revelation too.
I saw a throne. Oh yeah, and there was a person there sitting there too. Like Jesus Christ. They're sitting on it.
Why is there a throne? Why does there need to be a throne? Why
I
it's
just-
not Game of Thrones? Why is there always need to be something
it was made of swords that had been melted down. Yeah.
God needs to
Sitting-
sit for a while. He's got arthritis and he's got a sciatic nerve that's kind of bothering him. And once in a while, he needs to sit down.
Right.
There's a throne.
The one sitting on the throne was as brilliant as gemstones, like jasper and
What?
carnelian. I don't know.
I find it funny how they always attribute preciousness to something that is of monetary value. The Mormons do that very well too. When they talk about, for example, their 10 commandments on tablets of gold, and you you think for 2 minutes, it's like, If you're the God of the universe and you're writing down your 10 commandments on tablets, gold is a horrible material. I mean, it's very soft. People will try to steal it. The only thing it's good for is conducting electricity. You have 1,000 materials that would be way better and way more durable than gold, but no, it's gold. And the only reason it's gold is a betrayal of the origins of the story, which is obviously a human origin, because gold for us means something, means monetary something. But if you're the God of the universe, gold is a useless product to you. It really is. What are you going to do with gold? You're the
Yeah,
power.
if you're a god, yeah, I mean,
You've
you'd
got
have
nothing to do with
some
gold.
yeah, you'd have something that we don't even know what it is, that looks, like, extra cool. It's like a holographic, like, multicolored whatever, like, I don't know, it could just be, like, the craziest looking,
Yeah.
like, thing ever.
So
But
the one
no,
thing we have when they see these visions of God is in the heavens and he's sitting on the thrones and he looks like shiny gold and gems and all this. A gem for the almighty creative universe would be completely useless and worthless.
yeah,
What's the point of it? It has a monetary value to you. So unless there's an economy in heaven, which I don't think
it's
there is, it's pointless. It's
it's
pointless.
yeah, it makes no sense,
No,
honestly, as
no.
far as, like, a spiritual being, like, giving a shit about, like, the value, like, just, "Well, we only have the most valuable rocks up
Yeah,
here," like, what the
yeah.
fucking
I mean, if you said, for example, that you said God's throne yet again is made out of dark matter. Now you got my attention because now all of
right,
a sudden you get something that's interesting and something that's unusual and that does not have a monetary value to it.
and it
It's
would
something
seem yeah, and that a spiritual being would probably be more, interested in, you know
well,
what
if
I mean?
that was made of dark matter, his throne was made of dark matter or something like that, then it jives much more with the idea of a creator god because all of a sudden you have construction materials available to him, right?
Right,
Much more than gold and gems and sapphires and shit like that. This is
right.
useless, completely useless. If you're a god, it's not even useless. It's useless to you in heaven as well. The only place it would not be useless is right here on earth. But it's used, the image is used to lure you into something that to think it's precious. And
Right.
it's so transparent.
Oh, it's so obviously bullshit, like, all of this is so obviously bullshit. Ugh. So, and the glow of an emerald circled his throne like a rainbow. See, that's it. And the glow of an emerald circled his throne like a rainbow. So that's the rainbow that he's talking about.
Okay.
And it's a full circle, around him. That I suppose is green, is emerald's green, right? Did we say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's green. So he has a green glow around him. Uh, so remember what John sees in heaven precedes a period of great tribulation that God is about to unleash on the world in judgment before Christ's return to earth.
Yeah, we
So
go back.
this is before the tribulation, I guess.
We
When
always go
he
back to this old, oh, God's about to destroy the world. They've been saying that for 2,000 years now. You think they get
yeah,
tired?
and he does it with bowls. Like he has like bowls of cereal, but like instead of cereal, it's demons and stuff.
Well,
It's like
if I was God and and I had my believers and I want to kill them all, why don't you make it rain gemstones? That will kill a lot of people, actually.
like, oh, look how pretty.
Gemstones from those little feet. Yeah, that will probably kill a lot of people.
Jesus Christ. Oh fuck, where was I? Okay. These guys. Um, remember what John sees in heaven precedes a period of great tribulation that God is about to unleash on the world in judgment before Christ's return to earth. This is what John means when he says in verse 5, lightning and thundering uh proceed from the throne. Chapters 6 through 19 of Revelation are a prophetic record of God's pouring out judgment after judgment in the last days. These apocalyptic judgments to come with will ravage the planet.
Brent, you think that the reason why Jesus hasn't come back is because he keeps pressing the snooze button? Just the alarm rings. Just presses it again. Beep beep.
Yeah, I got it. Just give me one for 1,000 years, Mom. Just give it the
I don't want
1,000 more years,
to
Mom.
go today, Dad. I don't want to go back there.
Like, but the humans themselves are destroying the planet. I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
Yeah, I'll just zap something.
As
Make
soon
this
as climate change starts to actually be a problem, I'll show up. I'll show up. And, fix it all. So, what is this emerald rainbow? Clarence Larkin, in the book of Revelation, notes the differences between the rainbow of Noah's day and the one John saw. Noah's rainbow was semicircle. That's a big difference right there. And John's was circular, Larkin wrote. In
The more interesting story that said, John's rainbow was actually a rectangle. No, wait a minute. Now you got my attention.
they hyper focus on the weirdest shit. Too. Like, my God. So this is a quote, I guess, from is Larkin's writing or something. So in this world, we see only half a rainbow, or half of the things. In heaven, we shall see the whole of things.
Oh,
Okay. What
that's
the
a
fuck?
that's an explanation after the fact. We're on Earth, so we don't see half the beauty. Once we're in heaven, we're going to see the full beauty. That's what he said.
Oh, okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
there we go.
Jesus. I me totally lost.
That is as horrible an explanation as the explanation of the guy. Remember the guy that went online and he was uh, an imam, and he basically said the Earth doesn't turn because he jumped up in the air and landed in the same spot. See, the Earth didn't move underneath me. That's as lame of an excuse as it just came up there. It's just the same level of stupidity. It's like,
Yeah, I
dude.
can jump up and down in a car and keep going. You fucking idiot. I can, jeez, I don't fly through the back window when I jump up in a vehicle. Jesus. Wow. The difference between Noah's rainbow and the one around the throne of God is that Noah's is composed of the 7 primary colors. Oh. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet.
I thought they
Wow,
gave you like three primary colors.
I know,
Isn't it like
right? That's
blue,
I
red,
don't.
and yellow?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I no, you'd have to ask somebody, an artiste or something like that. They would probably know, or a physicist.
I mean, but we know there's only 3 colors, right? Like, there's definitely not this many, and orange definitely ain't one of them. What
No,
the
but yours
fuck?
is yellow and red, right?
Yeah, but those 2 would have to mix in order for.
I
Okay,
mean, we do have 7 colors in the rainbow. There's still one color,
okay,
but I don't know if they're called primary colors. But
right.
we're just splitting hairs here. I think.
Yeah, maybe we're doing that. Yeah, yeah. I try not to do that as much as I can, but sometimes you can't help it. While the one around the throne of God is emerald, what does this circular green rainbow signify? It signifies that God is a covenant keeping God, and that his promises to this earth shall be fulfilled. Even though he is about to bring great judgment upon it, he will not destroy it, but it shall pass through those judgments safely. He will redeem it and bless it until its hills, valleys, plains shall teem with green verdure,
Vilder.
verdure. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. French.
I can't read it. It's too small for me.
Healthy green foliage. Oh, thanks. They gave us an explanation for that. Oh,
Vilder.
healthy green foliage.
Yeah,
Uh,
Vilder is French for greenery, if you wish.
okay. Oh, So it's like a lot of French stuff going on here. That's why I needed you for this one.
Oh, ho, ho. I'm allowed,
Fruitful or
I'm allowed to use the Posey French accent. Eh?
Okay. Fruitful orchards and bountiful vineyards of the long millennial day that is to follow these judgments. Okay. What was the point of all this? Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's all just nonsense.
I feel like I'm
Uh,
also wondering why emerald. I mean, don't look me wrong. Emerald green is a nice color. I like the color.
yeah, it's
But why not
gorgeous.
be red?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
why not pearl white?
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that would seem more godly,
it would.
right? I mean,
It
that would
would.
seem more heavenly,
Yeah,
right?
totally. Why
Absolutely.
not what's that peridot green or turquoise blue or why emerald green? Why emerald?
It just it just doesn't add up. I don't know. It's I do not get it. It's for many years now, there has been considerably fear-mongering about a man-made disaster wiping out all of civilization.
Oh, he's talking about climate change, isn't he?
Let's see. After America dropped nuclear bombs on Japan, uh, and the superpowers escalation of atomic weapons, the primary fear during the 60s and even into the 80s was the world facing nuclear annihilation,
I remember that. Yeah.
you know, which actually makes really good sense since we could just destroy all life as we know it
Yeah.
because of a couple pissed off tyrants. But remember how school children were trained to seek cover under their desks in the event of a nuclear attack?
Yeah, absolutely.
What? That was a thing?
That was a thing. It was, especially during the 50s, before you and I were born, obviously. But it was a thing. I mean, you still have some old black and white video where these old training videos they had. Here's what to do in this moment, and all of a sudden you get flash, and the little kids are scrambling underneath their table. It was,
Oh,
as much as today in the states you have like active shooting drills. Back then
yeah.
they had nuclear drills.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Oh, man, I just lost it. Yeah, I'll bring it back up. Jesus, yeah, it's okay. I was gonna say, you know what they need? They need a bunch of refrigerators. If Indiana Jones 5 has taught me anything, or 4 has taught me anything, like, you just gotta get in the refrigerator, and
Yep,
then it'll
red
shoot
line.
you past the Nazis, and, you'll be fine, you'll be safe,
It wasn't a
and,
Nazi in Indiana Jones 4, it was the Russians.
that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. The KGB. It's
See, now there's gonna be somebody out there says, "Kevin sympathized with Nazis, Nazis."
exactly.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
ugh.
That's funny. Alright, let's see. Okay. Uh, uh, let's see. And for many years, it's considerably fear-mongering a man-made disaster. Oh, yeah, we did that. Today, other fears are prominent, such as meteorites. Okay.
Yeah.
Slamming into Earth and destroying all life. This is the theme of the popular movie Don't Look Up, which
Please
was really
remember.
good.
Yeah. Good movie.
Highly recommend. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Mhm.
The most prominent fear today seems to be climate change. Here you go, buddy.
Oh, there we
A recent study by the World Wildlife Fund stated the human race is plundering the planet so badly
Mhm.
that that we only have until around 2050. I feel like that's not right. Before the world can no longer support life, like any life, by 2050. Is
Uh,
that right?
there are some numbers that are very alarming, especially when it comes concerning the oceans. The oceans are
Oh,
being fished to death, and literally, I mean, it's like they have to go deeper and further offshore now to go catch fish, and it's not looking good. It really isn't. Because
Mm.
if the oceans die, the Amazon ain't gonna save us. This is most of our carbon dioxide and all that is stored into the ocean. So the ocean goes, we go.
Oh shit. Well, that sucks.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I walk into a superstore of some kind, right, a grocery store, and you walk by that fish counter and you see all these fish, and you realize like people are not necessarily buying all these fish. A lot of them are just going to go to freaking waste. And this is not something that's, I mean, there's some fish farming that's happening, especially with species like salmon. But aside that, this is all wild caught stuff, right?
Wait a second. You're telling me that those leftover fish don't like marry other fish and then have little
No,
kid fish and then
no.
they get to be like happy families until, they end up in a sushi bar?
Years ago, I used to work for a company called West Coast Reduction. West Coast Reduction is essentially a rendering plant. It's where they take animal fats and they render it into products. Usually, they ship out the raw product, which is called tallow, and they sell to companies that make soap, cosmetic, and stuff like that. And at a certain time of year, there was always the herring trucks that would come, and these you talk about semis full of dead herring that would just be dumped and be processed. These are all fish that have been fished, that have not been consumed, and are just complete fish. You know, not half eaten or anything. They're just complete fish, and they're just being dumped. They take a few of them, the nice ones, to make a pickled herring or something, and the rest were just being processed. And we're talking like truckloads of them, like several truckloads of them, every
Jeez.
every year, like clockwork. And when you're thinking, wow, all this has been fished, and just this is one city, Vancouver. This kind of stuff is happening
Wow.
all over the world. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
this is not
that's not good.
usually. It looks like a huge waste. I mean, I'm no expert on this, but it's like even myself as a lay person, I'm thinking that can't be good, man. That just can't be good.
No, I mean, it's almost like, the things that we use to get from here to there, if you just park them in your garage and forget to open the door and just leave it running for a significant amount of time, kills you.
Yeah,
And we have 1.4 billion of those rolling around our planet every day, and we've had it that way for, I don't know, the past, what, 100 years? Over 100 years? And then we all wonder why climate change is is a problem.
yeah,
It's just that kills me when people are like, "Oh, no, it doesn't cause any problems." I'm like, "Really?" Because it kills you if it's just in the garage with you for a significant amount of time, like, not even that long. Like, a car will just murder you if the doors are closed
hmm,
in a garage. That can't be good. You know?
oh yeah,
But, they deliberately forget that God made the heavens long ago by the word of his command. And he brought the earth out of the water and surrounded it with water. Okay. What? What? That doesn't even okay.
brought the
Then
earth out of the water. He took his hair dried up, right?
yeah, he
Put a
parted it,
towel on it.
like
Put a towel, squeegee it a bit. Make sure it's nice and dry, and then surrounded it with water.
exactly. I remember when, I was a kid, like, my parents would be like, "He separated the waters. He separated this water from that water." They would always say he was separated the sky from, like, the actual water because there's moisture in the sky and stuff. Wow, the things we did to make this make sense.
Yeah,
Then he used the water to destroy the ancient world with a mighty flood. And by the same word, the present heavens and earth have been stored up for fire.
yeah. We everybody with a modicum of scientific knowledge knows that the Great Flood didn't happen. It's been
Definitely not.
thoroughly, thoroughly debunked.
Yeah, I mean,
Of
it's
all the
just not
stories
even
in the
possible.
Bible, of all the stories in the Bible, that one by far, by far, has been debunked more than anything else. So
Yeah,
it does
well,
not happen.
maybe the talking donkey thing, but yeah, yeah, I mean that one too. Um,
I would like to talk about it. I would like that. Even if it's a Murphy voice, I would still like that.
yeah, I just really want it to sound like Patrick Warburton. Hey, buddy.
Can you just like not be hitting me there? That's just gotta get on my nerves there. Okay, got an angel with a flaming sword, bro.
Jesus. Uh, so they said they are being kept for the day of judgment when
Mhm.
ungodly people will be destroyed. This verse stimulates considerable theological debates about whether the old heaven and the old earth are discarded forever and God provides brand new heaven and earth, or whether the new heaven and new earth are the old heaven and earth refined and restored.
Mm.
That is such a good question that I wish I gave a fuck about, you know, because
There's a lot of space in space. So why do you need to restore the Earth? Can't you just like zap another one into existence?
I
No?
mean, you could, right? You can just speak it into existence, you know?
Yeah, dispose of the old Earth, put in the garbage can, the recycling bin, and
Yeah.
just create a new one. I mean,
I
God,
mean, as far as I always understood it, it was just like, no, he just like kills a bunch, like it was like the sun gets 7 times hotter or whatever, kills 1/3 of the planet, right? And then it kills like
if the
then
sun
something
gets
else.
7 times hotter, it's going to kill all the planet.
Yeah, it's
1/3.
and it just but that just keeps happening over and over and over. It's like, okay, another third, another third, another third. So you get like 7 people left, it seems like, really, after all the thirds get killed, right? But
Uh,
then it goes into a world without end, right? And so I always assumed it was they were the doctrine anyway was that it was
what
the
do I feel like?
world.
What do I feel like Paris Hilton is going to be one of those 7 survivors too?
Of course she is.
It just bothers me.
I mean, she's still going. So, you know. It's, it's her and the Kardashians are gonna just be
Oh
kicking
God, Kanye is going to be.
and Kanye.
All right, I want to go out with the Locust. Bring me the Locust.
Jesus.
I'm not staying with Kanye.
While some in recent years have argued that for what amounts to a complete destruction of the current creation, e.g., John MacArthur in his commentary on 2 Peter 3. The historic Christian position is that the new creation is a renewal of the old creation, in which Christ's work and particularly his death and resurrection remove the effects and source of sin and thereby bring restoration not only to human beings but to all that God has made. This accords with the biblical data, including data, including an affirmation of creation's goodness. And it gives a bunch of verses, and God's care for it. The scope of redemption encompassing all that was affected by the fall, the prophetic hope that it is the current created order that will be restored in the new creation.
Well, that
Yeah, I
says
have
a
no
lot
idea
of
what
words. Nothing.
that's a word salad. Yeah, that doesn't really mean much.
I just love that part where he says, remove the effects of sin.
Yeah,
I always like to say sin is one of those invented disease, in order to find a religious cure. That's what it is. I mean,
exactly.
you can't even define what sin is. So what is sin? It's a bad thing. Okay, well, what does that mean? It's
It's
something God doesn't like. Well, some days he doesn't like murder, some days he does. What does that mean?
right. Yeah, it's the stuff that gets you into the place that doesn't exist. So it's the stuff that doesn't exist that gets you into the place that doesn't exist. Like it's yeah, it's just and then but we got a cure for it.
Oh yeah,
And that's how they use it
Jesus.
there.
Jesus.
It's ridiculous. Uh, this view, I believe, thank goodness, at least he's honest enough to say I believe in here and not that it's the fact. Uh, this view, I believe, best dovetails with the promises contained in Noah's rainbow and the symbolism found in John's emerald rainbow. God has solemnly committed himself never to permit the earth's complete obliteration.
And there we come to it. This is why Christianity is a problem because we are facing an actual crisis, climate change, but they believe they're not in any serious trouble because of their fairy tale. So they will not help you. They will not help us save the world. And this is dangerous. This is dangerous because, the first step to any problem is admitting there's a freaking problem. But never mind, there is another problem because the rainbow somehow.
It's the two different rainbows that don't really add up.
LGBT, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Climate change is not a problem because no one.
Oh my god, that's fucking stupid.
This is not only is it stupid, but it's an actual inherent danger of Christianity today. It
I mean,
really
look what happened with COVID. Look at all the people that are like, "Oh, it can't be because Jesus hasn't come back yet,
Yeah.
so
Did you
the
see that
pestilence
video?
can't show up yet."
Did you see that video of that fraud? What was the name of that? Copeland, Kenneth Copeland.
Oh yeah, the demon face guy. Yeah,
In the middle of there's this, and he's super serious, and of course he's putting some kind of incantation. And everybody's repeating him, and he goes COVID-19, and he's pointing at the camera, and then he goes. Then everybody's imitating him. I ban you in the name of Jesus.
yeah, he's blowing it out. He blows the he blows the virus away.
God damn. I cannot believe in this day and age, people are looking at this man and taking this seriously. COVID-19 and then start blowing away. Like somehow this is going to stop COVID-19. Of course it didn't.
And then, in the one where he's like saying that Biden became president, and then they all just start laughing like psychos.
Yes. It's like
creepy, actually. Right? They're not laughing like they're watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They're laughing like they are Freddy Krueger about to murder somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it is terrifying. Holy shit!
It is. It absolutely is.
It's like the most terrifying shit I've ever seen. Seriously.
It's when you see stuff like that, you realize, Christianity, although most people have a tendency to think it's harmless today and it's just holly jolly and good feelings. No, it's not, dude. It is, and this is perfect example of that.
Yeah. So he is either literally or figuratively going to burn away all sources of sin, all acts of sin, all that offends his created order, and restore his earth to his original intentions, similar to the Garden of Eden. It's like couldn't he have just done that from the beginning? Why did he have to go through all this?
Yeah, it's especially considering the original Garden of Eden. He's the one that kind of stopped all that, right?
Right.
He's the one that stopped all that by kicking Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve out.
Either way, both of them. Steve was off there on the side with Eve and Adam. They're also in the cuck stuff. It's a whole thing. Yeah. So several years ago, Neil Howie and Bill Strauss wrote a book titled 13th Gen: Abort, Retry, Ignore, Fail? ? The book is about America's 13th generation, born between 1961 and 1981.
My generation.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. What?
I'm a Gen X.
That's wow. You are. Wow. You see, I'm in that. I'm after 81. Jesus. just after 81. Okay. Not super young, right? But
I'll tell you a secret about me. I was born the 7th day of the 4th month, 74 at 7:47.
Jeez.
And so every time I tell that to like a palm reader or someone with some kind of psychic, their eyes go like, "Oh, I got some special destiny."
You will save the universe.
That's right.
From the interdimensional Narkian monsters. You'll see it. You'll see it when
oh, for sure. I'll get the Emerald Rainbow for
sure. Today, these people are typically categorized as Generation X. Howe and Strauss say that this generation was the first whose mothers took pills not to have children. The
Uh,
first to go through the divorce revolution, and the first to go to school when schools stopped teaching traditional curriculum. Okay. As a result, they say the authors, Generation X has a unique combination of optimism and pessimism about life.
oh, okay. Well, I hope he's not saying that. You know,
What?
the first generation to take the birth control pill is a bad thing, and the
I
first
think
generation
that's
to. I hope he's not implying that. You
I
know, first
think that's
generation.
what he's implying.
Well, first generation to be able to divorce freely. It's not a bad thing. You know, would you rather a woman stays in a really bad relationship? You
But they
know,
don't I mean, they don't see it that way though. They don't see it like if God decided that this relationship is right, then
but he
they
didn't say that.
shouldn't.
He didn't say that. He's basically saying, you know, because of these three things, Gen X is more optimistic and yet more pessimistic at the same time. A lot of people in my generation basically say we don't care really either way. Maybe that's what
I
they
mean,
do.
and isn't that sort of a catch-all? You literally just said that this people they do two of the opposite things.
Yeah, we're optimists and pessimistic. Oh, okay, well,
Yeah. So
we do it all.
okay. Yeah, everybody they do everything.
We
Like
can't, we can't fail. We can't fail.
it's a
We can do it.
catch-all. Yeah. I mean, my goodness, what the fuck? They're individually optimistic and collectively pessimistic. Okay, okay. So they're saying they're as an individual they're optimistic, but collectively
Yeah,
they're pessimistic.
you know what? I could probably agree with that.
I could see that, but that's how from a the standpoint of like an activist, that's how you get change. Is by
Yeah.
being pessimistic. And a lot of times they don't have to actually be pessimistic; they can just look at reality and go, "Look, that's bad." But you know, uh, I liken them to a group of skydivers. Okay, hurtling to the ground with only one parachute among them, but each one expects that they will get it.
Well, you know, I think that's a very more apt analogy around Christians, but except you know that we got a bunch of Christians hurtling towards the ground with no parachute, expecting God to save them. That's the analogy you should be focusing on right now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That that does track a lot better than what they're trying to say. Increasingly, the Bible is marked by an incredible combination of optimism and pessimism. The scripture is definitely pessimistic about the human race's ability to save this broken world. Those without Christ and failing to walk in his ways are hurtling towards a horrible end. But the Bible is optimistic about the future of believers who love him and obey his commandments.
Uh,
Christ.
First of all, the Bible is extremely pessimistic about just about everything. I mean, 9/10 or like just about the entire population of the planet dies, except for a couple that are saved by Jesus. That's not optimism, dude. That's like very pessimistic. Just because you managed to save a few doesn't make you an optimist at all.
Yeah, and they say, and there's a Bible verse that says like, anyone who calls the name of the Lord, I shall see you and take you under my wing or whatever and protect you, right? And then there's other Bible verses like that say that people at the pearly gates or whatever will say, Lord, Lord, I did this and that and the other, and he would say, I never knew you. So it's like it's completely, you know what I mean?
If
Like
you
it's
want
just
to check, if you want to check if a Christian's a pessimist or an optimist, just ask him him or her, ask him a simple question. Do you think there are more people in heaven or in hell? If they answer heaven, maybe he's an optimist. If they're probably going to answer hell, yeah, chances are he's a pessimist.
oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, because it's almost like that are like people generally like even if you ask like skeptics and stuff or people that don't believe in heaven or hell or Christianity, like if you ask them like are people generally good or people generally evil, it's like people the pessimists would say, "Oh, people are generally evil." And
Yeah.
then the more positive people will say, "Oh, the people are generally good." I always
Mhm.
say that people are generally good and evil.
I I usually
Depends on what's going on.
I usually think people, for my part, I think most people are actually good. I think circumstances might turn you. Nobody goes out do evil for evil's sake unless you got like some kind of brain issue or something like that. Well, I think in a normal nature, we just want to go to work, put food on the table, raise our kids. Doesn't matter from which side of the globe you're on. That's usually what people are trying to do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, my point is, I guess, that people do good and bad things all the time,
Oh
and I think, you know what I mean? Like, you can try to be doing something good and accidentally hurt somebody or do whatever, you can people are generally but I see what you're saying, like, people generally are trying to be a good person, right? And I think that that is true.
I remember
Yeah.
years ago I was talking to a group of Christians because they were protesting abortion, and I went there and tried to create a bit of trouble because sometimes I like doing that.
Hell yeah. That's
I
always
was
fun.
talking to them about Numbers 5:11 and stuff like that, and this guy was starting to use the same the old trick that what's his name Ray Comfort uses on people. Says, "Did you ever steal anything?" He said, "Yeah." "Did you ever lie about something?" "Yeah." I said, "Well, so you're a liar and a thief." So the guy does that on me. So he says, you got a evil sin and all that stuff, and I said, "Yeah, but I've also like donated to charity and I've fed people and I've helped them build things. So why do you choose to go onto the negative side of things? I've done way, I would think, I wanted to pat my own back here, but I think I've done much more good in my life than bad things. I'm sure I've done a couple of bad things, but never intentionally necessarily. Why
Yeah, we don't
paint me
we're
with the
not
guy being a liar and a thief because one time I took a pen inadvertently, or one time I told a little white lie. That doesn't make me an evil person.
right.
There's much more than I
The
told lies.
Yeah, it's a different it's a different thing, I feel like,
But for
but,
them, they have to believe that. For their entire faith to make sense, they have to believe that humanity is somehow evil from the get-go.
that's
And
their whole bread and butter, yeah,
it's a
of their
sad state of affair. Imagining waking up in the morning, even when I was a Christian, I didn't wake up in the morning thinking people were evil by nature. I think it's this very sad thing. You wake up in the morning thinking your
that's
neighbor across the street is like evil somehow. I was like,
well,
wow.
it's very much I don't know if you've ever seen the have you ever seen the movie The Village?
Was that the M.
M.
Night
Night
Shyamalan?
Shyamalan?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay, so it's that whole thing. It's a us and them type of thing to say
yeah,
like, "Hey, people are evil, so stay over here with us."
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a way to keep you bubbled in, you know what I mean? Like, it's just to me,
And
that's the way it is.
rivalries and the whole thing of my team, your team, politics and sports and just about anything is a very, very old instinct.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about that, and they were talking about how they even done social experiments where they would just put a T-shirt of a color to a kid, and then they would, the kids would naturally group with the other kids that had the same color T-shirt. These kids don't even know each other, but we have this natural tendency to go with people that kind of look like us or feel like us, and
That we
it's a
can
lot.
identify with.
Yes, and it's extremely easy for us to demonize people that are not quite like us. Well, this guy's wearing a blue T-shirt. He's got to be in the wrong team. He's bad, right? And you see that in every aspect of our life, whether it's sports, social events, politics. You see that, and it's a very, very old instinct. It's hard to fight against that.
Hmm, that's so fascinating. Well, so, like, let me read this last little line here, and I believe that's the end of the article, and then we'll do a little bit of Patreon only content and go over a couple of these comments, and then we'll finish up. But it says, for everyone who receives Christ, there is a parachute. Of course there is. Uh, for this planet, the everlasting covenant of Noah's rainbow and the promise of the emerald rainbow remain.
maybe okay, maybe it's my pessimistic nature that thought that, but as soon as you said for everyone who receives Jesus Christ, there is a parachute, the first image that came in my mind is those Bugs Bunny cartoon when they open the parachute, there's an anvil coming out as they're falling.
Yeah,
First thing
exactly.
that went through my mind.
Right? Yeah, that's great. Oh man, so let's take a look. Well, first, thank you so much, Kevin, for coming on, and we have this sign off. You know the sign off, right?
I promise not to send any more dick pics to you. Thank you for bringing me on your show. That was the deal. I stopped sending you dick pics, and you bring me on the show. You're done. We're done. We're square.
I'm not convinced that that's going to be the end of it, but like, what do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbators, shamers? Fuck off. Wow, very good. All right, now for those left over, this is for the patrons. And thanks for hanging around, patrons. And we have a couple. We have quite a few comments here that we can get to that I wasn't able to, because we're actually recording a actual unapologetics podcast. So I wanted to like try to address at least a couple of them, but I couldn't do what we normally do, which is address like all the comments as they come, right? So I really want to go back and like just take a look at some of these and excuse my memory if it's not good like from like what we were talking about at the time.
That's why it's written down.
Okay. So let's go see. Let's go back to Jerry. I don't know if we did anything for that, Jerry. The book ad, though, break the conventional rules of business. Insider tips from the CEO of Hobby Lobby. Conventional rules. You mean laws? You mean laws? I can't remember exactly what that was in reference to. Oh, about the book ad. Let's see. Why do we see people kill random? Oh, that's right. We were getting down there. Why do we see people kill random people? Or for Brently, who I'm guessing is American, the Las Vegas shooter, the Oklahoma bomber, the parade attack guy, the other parade. Well, because it's really easy to get people to hate a particular group of people, and the right wing media machine has basically demonstrated just how powerful it is.
One of the
It's stochastic terrorism. Like, how do you say it?
Stochastic.
Stochastic. That's it. Stochastic terrorism.
One of the unfortunate truth of our species, it's a lot easier to thrill people with hatred than with reason.
Yeah, reason's something you got to work for. You know what I mean? Like, you actually have to bust your ass to go, am I being biased? Do I have like is there something that I think that, or that's causing me to think this way? Because, is it because I'm white? Is it because I'm, whatever, I'm Scottish, or is it because I'm whatever, and that's something that's very difficult to get people to get past,
I still can't get past you're Scottish.
I'm definitely Scottish. That is, yeah. Let's see. This is there was a kid recently who went to a trail somewhere in the States and killed random women on the trail after killing his brother. Yeah, people do bad stuff, man. I couldn't tell you exactly. I'm sure there was some reasoning.
I didn't hear that story. I mean,
I didn't either. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't Raleigh in California?
What did you say? It was in Raleigh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Not really sure where that is. Let's see. This is sounds like they're stuck in the AIDS crisis. AIDS isn't a rampant problem in the gay community anymore. They are aware that medicine has made advances since the 80s. Oh, that's probably
when you were reading and you were saying about how the LGBT is harmful
and deadly. Yeah, they said it's deadly specifically. Yeah. So
I think Andrea's got a good point there. They are probably referring to the AIDS crisis of the 80s.
Yeah, because they seem to think that it was just a that it was absolutely just a gay thing. Like,
and you can tell the difference with then and now, because these same people essentially tried to do the same thing with the monkeypox
Yeah.
riots. Right? All of a
Oh,
sudden,
they
they
were
were
beginning to. Yeah.
the LGBTQ, but that kind of got shut down real fast because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do so.
Yeah. So let's see. This people talk about like lead is heavy, dense. Gold is denser,
Yeah,
almost
we'll talk
twice as.
about how
Oh,
the material for making the gold tablets of the Mormons wasn't making any sense. No,
yeah,
right? It's not making any sense at all.
that's right. Is that like about weight, and that's what
Yeah,
makes it. Yeah,
if your
but
God could create the tablets out of probably stone, granite, marble, even ice would probably be a better material than gold.
right. That's actually a good question. I don't know where it does say that it's a semicircle. I think they were just like saying that just referring to a regular rainbow, which we all know is like a half a
That's another
circle.
question. I'm not a physicist, but I would assume, I mean, when you have the arc of a rainbow, I'm assuming if somebody were to ask me why is it a semicircle and an arc, and I would assume it's because of the different wavelength of every color, right? It was, the wavelength of the red is going to be longer than the wavelength of the ultraviolet. I would think that'd be a reason why it makes that arc, that circle, right?
Oh, I
But I'm
always
not
thought it had
sure.
to do
I'm
with
not
the
sure.
curvature of the Earth, like
It's a good question. I don't know. I frankly don't know. So I
the
wish there was a physicist that we could answer that question to.
like
Like I said, I don't
the
think it's a
atmosphere. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's a good question though.
It'd be
Yeah, I
kind of
like
cool to see a square rainbow,
that.
square or a triangular rainbow.
We're talking about the Lord Jesus hitting the snooze button.
I get a
Yeah,
feeling that nobody's a Christian here.
yeah. Well, no, I think Justin Nobody is right.
Yeah.
Uh, he said the Lord is not slack. Wait, what is it?
Some men count slackness, long suffering to us, word, not willing to that any should perish, but should come to repent. When? Okay, well,
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's basically saying, he doesn't want anybody to go to hell. Is that right?
he doesn't want to. You could do that very easily. All you have to do is show up.
Yeah, and just not put people in hell. Like
Yeah, yeah, right.
they're in charge of all of the rules of
Oh,
literally everything.
Brently, don't you know? You put yourself in hell. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's like
Not Jesus,
exactly.
you,
It's
right?
leaving the cookie jar out, and then they're like, now if you touch that, I'm gonna torture you for all eternity. And then when they touch it, they're like, you did this to yourself. You touched it. Kenneth Copeland also said he couldn't fly. Oh, commercial. Because it's a tube full of demons. I remember that. Did you ever see that, Kevin?
Sorry, say that again. Which one?
So he said Kenneth
Oh
Copeland
yeah,
also
saw
said
that.
he couldn't fly in a commercial because it's a tube full of demons.
Yeah, you talk
That
about your congregation there, buddy.
that
Yeah,
that's
but
why he needed a private plane. That's why he couldn't
yeah, but
fly
aren't
commercial.
you like some kick-ass priest? And shouldn't you be like shooing and repenting and to all these demons in your plane? Right? Go kick some demon ass, dude.
Right. Jesus. That's too funny. Let's see. Let me do a Titan one because Titan's great. Let's see. 13th Gen is just a Gen X meme book. I don't know that one. See, I was born on the Boomer X cusp. I lived through it. Things change. Deal with it. I think it's talking about the different generations. See, he's doing astrology. You like people, but you need your alone time. Fair enough. I have a story real quick, and then we'll head out from here. I have this place that I go to where I get these herbs. You
Yeah.
know, uh, and I drink kratom and
Secret
kava.
recipe for the KFC recipe, like secret 11 herbs and spices. Is that it?
No,
No.
this is this is the herb shop, and I get my kratom and stuff there, right? And man, I took a picture, and I've forgotten that I had the, like the owner as one of my friends on Facebook, and I took a picture of like it was like a metaphysics, right? And it was like quantum healing, and it had tarot cards, and it had like just a bunch of nonsense, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of nonsensical pseudoscience bullshit, right? And so I posted on there and I was like, as much as I love this place, it requires me to have a conversation where I'm politely saying that I'm not convinced
Yeah.
X is true, right? And the dude got mad. He got like the owner like came on and he was like, "Hey man, there's actually like what did he call it?" He said testimonial evidence that proves that quantum healing is true and stuff. And I looked up what quantum healing is, and it was first of all made by Deepak Chopra.
Oh, I was
So
about to say. There has to be a Deepak
and,
Chopra there somewhere.
and it's just completely a misunderstanding of literally fucking everything. Just everything is this dude does not understand. And yeah, it was really funny. And it said that like physicists, especially physicists that understand like quantum physics, get completely angered by this whole quantum healing bullshit, It was just so funny. And it was like my whole point was to be like, yeah, I like this place because these people are so cool and they don't care,
Yeah.
if I don't believe what they believe. And now they're all mad at me. And I'm like, well, that just blows everything that I was saying,
Did you ever see the oh, hold on a second. Did you ever see if I can mind if I share my screen?
No, go for it. Yeah. I'll put it up when you see it. All right.
Deepak Chopra.
What is
Oh, you see there hold
Oh
on.
shit.
The Deepak Chopra quote generator.
What is it? Oh wow.
It just
Holy
randomly does something. You just receive more wisdom.
Oh.
Qualia is inherent to objects. And let's have
That's
another one.
brilliant.
Orderliness is a reflection of quantum destiny.
Oh my god. That's so and you would not know. Like if
No,
I
you just say that to somebody in a gem store and stuff like that, they just look at you. Wow. Self-power is reborn in potential new.
Wow, those are like really spot on too.
I
Holy
know,
shit.
right? Like,
There's no way to tell that's not something he said. The ego opens a rational human observation. Oh my yeah, dude, these are like spot
so
fucking
good.
on.
Maybe
Making tea arises and subsides.
time events. Oh man,
That's beautiful.
my brain just exploded.
Oh, that's genius.
Oh, I love that.
Well, hey, thank y'all so much for hanging around, and thank you, Kevin, for hanging out for this episode here
My pleasure.
about the rainbow. And but yeah, this episode should be airing pretty soon. I'm gonna edit it down.
Mind if I plug something?
No, go for it. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
for those that might be listening after and the patrons and all that, the crew of the Left of the Valley, including Brently, will be doing a bingo fundraiser for recovering from religion, and this is on November 12th. So what's going to happen Saturday, November 12th, from noon Pacific till 4 Pacific. So if you're in the Eastern, it's from 3 to 7, right? We're doing a virtual bingo game, and we're doing essentially like a speed dating show. So we'll have like 15 minutes interviews with a whole bunch of guys: Arn Raw, Matt Dillahunty, Seth Andrews, David Fitzgerald, Mandisa Thomas, a whole bunch of great people like that. And we're doing like 15 minutes interviews. And in the meantime, in the background, there's a virtual bingo happening. And we got lots of prizes, books, cameos, t-shirts, counseling sessions, etc. There's even a dildo in there somewhere. So by Dr. Del Rey, of course.
I was
So,
gonna say it's yeah.
so join us on the 12th. If you go to Recovering from Religion, there's a and you go to their page, there's a link in there, and you can click. And if you make a $10 donation, they will email you in a few days here a virtual bingo card, and you can join us on the 12th. You can get up to 5 cards. I'll give you one free if you make a substantial donation. $10 per card. Nice and easy thing. You get a chance to win a prize. It'll be fun.
Yeah, lots of signed books and stuff, and
Yeah, exactly right.
and dildos, signed dildos.
I think it's just gonna be one dildo.
Oh, just one. Well, but that's what everybody wants. I mean, that is the prize
But
possession.
Del Rey will have his books. He'll have the God Virus and the Sex and God, and David Fitzgerald will give you one of his choice of one of his books, whichever one you pick.
Okay.
Dr. Ben Davis is going to give you a book from Amazon. Seth Andrews will have his book. We have 5 books from the guys from Cognitive Dissonance, from the Grand Theory of Grand Uniting Theory of Bullshit.
Yeah, unified.
Yeah, so we have T-shirts. There's even going to be a Left of the Valley T-shirt in there somewhere, and all that stuff. So it's going to be fun. We're gonna have a blast doing that. So
Hell
November
yeah.
12th, be there.
Yeah, definitely check it out. November 12th. Yeah, and that's what did you say the time is from
noon Pacific till 4. It'll be like a 4-hour show. So if you live in a Eastern like you, for you, Brently, from like 3 p.m. till 7 p.m.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah,
well, yeah, definitely. Everybody check that out, and I'll, if you follow me at all on social media, I'm sharing it like crazy just about every day. So, check out that link, get your card, and hang out and get some prizes and donate to an excellent cause. Because
what did you say? If you're a patron of Brently, he'll give you a card automatically. What? Amazing! So generous, man.
I actually should do that. Yes, I think I just might do that. So yeah, let me see about that. But thanks again for watching, everybody. Remember to stay logical, but stay loving. You gotta implement the loving into the logic. That's very important. All right. Well, until next time, y'all.